Hey everyone, happy Monday. Hope you're all doing really well today. My name is Colleen Patrick-Goudreau and I'm an author and animal advocate, and I just released my newest podcast episode for Animology Podcast, and it's called Geographical Place Names with Animal Origins, and I thought it'd be fun to do a little quiz, see how well you know cities and countries around the world that are named after animals. Can you name any off the top of your head before we start? And if you participate, and if you get, I was gonna say 5 correct, if you get 4 correct, you win a beautiful copy of The Humane Gardener. It's a new book by Nancy Lawson, and I interviewed Nancy in my most recent episode of the Food for Thought podcast. So there's the Food for Thought podcast, there's the Animology podcast. So the Animology podcast that just came out yesterday is on all of the geographical place names named after animals, and the most recent Food for Thought podcast is an interview with Nancy Lawson. And this book has really changed, really, even the way I kind of am operating in the world in my own little space. So if you get 4 answers to my little quiz, you can win a copy of this book. And I'm gonna have to limit that win to US based folks because I won't be able to send it internationally. But you should play anyway because I want to see how well you know these answers. So if you have any off the top of your head, first of all, can you hear me okay? And hello, and how are you? And welcome to everyone from wherever you are. I am here in California and excited about the upcoming conference, the animal conference that I'm doing here in August. So if you haven't signed up yet, you can do so for half price. So go to compassioninactionconference.com and sign up. There's already 60 people signed up, and it's going to be a really fabulous event. So do that, number 1. Number 2, how are you? Number 3, what other questions do you have before we start? Because I am about to give you some questions and see how well you do and see if you can win this prize. Heath said Chicken Alaska. Oh yeah, there is a Chicken Alaska. I do remember seeing that in my research. Right off. I was about to say right off. It's a write-off. So Chicken Alaska, some other obvious ones I named in the podcast are like, Bumblebee, Arizona, and Buffalo, New York. Partridge, Kansas is one of them for sure. Wolverine, Michigan is another one. Good, Agnes. What else? Okay, so you give me some others that you might know, but I'm going to start asking you questions. Are you ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. We're going to get to the quiz. You got it? What island, and Tiger Bay in Wales, right on. What island in that's part of Naples in Italy is named after the word for goat? Hi, Heather. Hi, Agnes. Oh, yeah, Parrot, Georgia. Right on. So what island in Naples is named for the Latin word for goat? I'm going to keep track of y'all. Hi, Chelsea. So I'm going to give everybody just a few seconds to reply. Hi, Chelsea. Going to give everybody a few seconds to reply. We have our first answer and our first correct answer from Heath, which is Capri. Now, Heath, I have a question for you. Did you know that already, or did you listen to the podcast? Just curious. Because obviously those who've already listened to the podcast are going to do better. And if we don't have a winner, we're just going to do this another day. Hi, Meg. So if we don't have a winner, if we don't have someone who answers 4 questions correctly, we are going to do this again, and there's just no winner. And again, the winner is going to get a copy of The Humane Gardener, beautiful hardback book. Did you know that, Heath, or did you listen to the podcast already? Just curious. Let me know. You knew it. It's brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, so you ready for the second question? He's lying. I could tell he's lying. I could tell. Okay, the second question is Mondia. What a beautiful name. Mondia, is that your name? That is such a gorgeous name. I just like saying it. I'm just going to say it all the time. Mondia. Okay, second question. I'm going to give you a hard one here. Let's see. Okay. It's going to be hard. Let's see. I'm going to move on to the African continent, and ask if you know the answer. You ready? You better have your little fingers ready to text the answer or type the answer. This West African country translates, this is such an easy one, I shouldn't even give this to you, translates to Lion Mountain. In Italian, technically. It was originally a Portuguese word, and I'm not going to even try to pronounce the Portuguese word. But it ultimately, the anglicized name is what looks very much like an Italian word, and it means Lion Mountain, and it is it's the name of a West African country. And Michael got it, Sierra Leone. Well done, Sierra Leone, which is Sierra Leone, which is the way it would be pronounced in Italian, but it's not an Italian word. We say Sierra Leone. So Michael got it. Brittany, awesome, got it. Meg got it. Joni got it. Okay, so you're all awesome. We've got lots of people who got it now. You can all still win because whoever gets 4 correct is the winner. Okay, so we've got 4 people who got that correct. So that was Michael, Joni, Brittany, and Meg. Okay, and then we also have Heath who answered the first one correct. So we don't have anybody who has 2 yet. Just saying. Okay. Can you name a city, the capital city in the Middle East, whose name literally translates, 2 words, literally translates, you can play Paolo, to Father of the Deer. Father of the Deer. It's a Middle Eastern capital city, 2 words, and it means Father of the Deer. Could you guess what that is? Unless you know because you've listened to the podcast, Animology, Geographical Place Names with Animal Origins, which you need to go listen to if you haven't. So play the game, get excited about all of these cities and countries whose names come from animals, listen to the podcast, and you're just going to be blown away by all the cities and countries. Brittany got it. Brittany said Abu Dhabi. It is true. Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, which is the capital. Name translates literally to Father of the Deer. Let me hold on. Open this a little bit. It's getting dark. Is that too bright? So you got that correct. And what's cool about it is there's also some people, some of the Bedouin, they say, have called it in the past Dhabi, which means mother of the deer. So Dhabi means deer in Arabic, and Abu Dhabi, it literally means father of the deer. Isn't that cool? So we have 2. We have one. It's not Addis Ababa, Mac. That would be in Ethiopia. But good try. And so we've got Marie, Eve, and Brittany who both answered that correctly. And still, yet, we don't have anybody who has 2 yet. So you ready for another one? And I know y'all haven't listened to the podcast yet because y'all will be getting these a lot faster. Very disappointed in you. You're all subscribed, right? I'm going to see a thumbs up from all of you. Right? Bye, Meg. Okay, ready? Moving on to... Oh, that's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. Okay. I'll give you another one. Brittany, you have 2? Sorry. Brittany's like, that's not right. Brittany, you do. Sorry. You're all going to have to keep track of this. I can't keep track. Okay. Brittany, did you listen to the podcast already, or are you just super duper smart or just taking over my work? What is it? Brittany has 2, and if Brittany gets 4, Brittany gets a copy of The Humane Gardener. Okay, you ready? Name a place... I'll start with a harder part of the question. Okay, so name a place that comes from the originally Dutch word for rabbit. Okay, Brittany's gonna kick butt. Name a place, I'm not gonna tell you where it is yet, whose Dutch name originally meant rabbit. Do, 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 do. I'll give you a minute. Give you a minute. There might be delay. I'm also looking at the Facebook page on my laptop too, which is usually delayed. Oh, don't know that one, Brittany. Don't know that one, which means I don't know if you've listened to the podcast episode. Marie Eve said, Hayes? No, but I'll narrow this down for you to see if anybody else can get it. Does anybody else know? If you can take a guess. If not, I'll give you more hints. I'll give you more hints. Okay, you ready? So it's a place whose Dutch name originally, the original name came from Dutch, meaning rabbits, and then it changed. Well, it was modified from an Old English word that also meant rabbit, that also means rabbit. An Old English word that also means rabbit. And if you are in the UK, which might be too late for those in the UK, you would know an Old English word for rabbit, because in some parts of the UK they still use this word. So do you know an Old English word for rabbit? Oh, and it's not hare. Sorry. Is that what you were trying to type, Marie Eve? You were trying to type hare. That's what I think you were trying to type. No, not hare. And okay, I'll give you more hint. You're close, Marie Eve. You're close. So if I were to tell you that this place that I'm talking about, yes, is in New York, 2 words. It's an island in New York. Heath's got it. I'm waiting to see if Marie Eve get it. And Michael got it. So Heath got it for sure. Marie Eve, you were close, and I wonder if you were thinking in that direction. But it is indeed Coney Island. So Coney Island is originally from the Dutch word for rabbit, which is konen, and then it was anglicized to Coney Island from the Old English word also for rabbit, which was coney. So we've got Heath and Michael. So Heath, is that 2 for you, Heath? And Marie Eve, I feel like I want to give that to you, Marie Eve, because you were really on the right track. So I might have to give you 2 as well. Someone likes that. Okay. All right, so I think we've got 2. We've got Brittany has 2, Heath has 2. This is really testing my memory. And Marie Eve. Haas is German? Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought you were spelling hair. Okay, so no. So no, it wasn't Haas. Okay. Can you name what is the town that literally means, it's gonna give it away. I'll give you a general hint first and then I'll narrow it down. 2 for you, Michael. Awesome. Okay, we've got lots of people with 2. So what is the name that literally means the deer crossing over a body of water? The deer crossing over the shallow body of water. Can you guess? And listen to Etymology podcasts, and then you won't have to guess. You'll know the answer. And I will be lenient because I'll give you either the US answer correctly or the UK answer correctly. So I've given you lots of hints. So let's see if you can get that. Adrian got it. It's not Heath. Heath, you need to listen to the Etymology podcast. I'm very disappointed in you, Heath. Adrian got it. It is Hartford. So there's Hartford in the U.S., which is a city in Connecticut. But Hartford was named as an homage to, can anyone guess? The original town is in the U.K. and it means literally... It means literally the hart crossing the ford. So hart is an Old English word for deer, and the town in the UK is originally what I'm referring to, and then Hartford in Connecticut, Hartford in the U.S. actually named it as an inspiration from this town in the U.K. So if you can guess the town in the U.K., then someone else can also get a point. Anyone? 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 It's tough if you're not in the UK, I guess, if you're not familiar with this town. Can anyone guess what this town is? I ain't gonna stop waiting for y'all. So Hartford in the US, and can you name the town in the UK? Anyone? Anyone? Slow answers here. No? So no? Okay. Well, then you just won't get it, but you will get, yeah, Michelle got it. Herefordshire. So, or Hereford would have been a perfect answer too. Yeah, so that is the right answer. So you've got one too, Michelle. So Michelle has one, and Adrian has one as well. Deerford. It's not Deerford. It's not what we were going for. We were going for Hertford or Hartford, both of which mean the deer crossing the ford. I will give you a bonus opportunity. Hello, Kirsten. To answer what other town in the UK refers to an animal crossing the ford. I'm just going to say that much. Bonus question also means an animal crossing the ford. You tell me what that is. That's a pretty good guess, Michael. I think that was a really good guess, because there probably is a Deerford somewhere and you're like, that answer is correct. Not Dartford, Michelle. Not Dartford. It's a bovine animal, and this town in the UK, a very well-known town, I'm going to give it away if I tell you that it's a very well-known university town. Means literally this animal, a bovine animal crossing the ford. Yes, Adrian's Oxford. Oxford means literally the place where the oxen crossed the ford. Y'all, tell me right now, I'm just going to ask y'all, who has listened to this Animology podcast and who has not? What do y'all think I do this for? You think I just do this for my own enjoyment? Partly. I do really enjoy it. Who has not? Yes or no? Who has and has not listened to the Animology podcast episode? That's all I'm asking. It's a very simple question. I have not. Michael? And Michael, by the way, I did look, and there's nobody coming from San Diego at this point. So hopefully that won't deter you, but I did look, and not yet. Marie-Eve, okay. Kath, Michelle. Okay, so the next question I have for you is, will you be listening to this podcast on Animology podcast? Sydney gets a point. Sydney gets a point just for that, because she's listened to the podcast already. Thank you, Sydney. Okay, Kirsten says next workout. Okay, so y'all have some homework to do is all I'm saying. And where are we? Who has how many points? Who has how many points? I think we're still at, does Adrian have 3? Thank you, Kath. Kath is a winner. Adrian has 3, I think. Joni is planning on it. That's a good plan, Joni. Thank you for that. Okay. All right. So, I think Adrian has 3. Am I right, Adrian? Or am I just like jumping you ahead here? Tell me what you guys have in terms of points. I thought so. Okay. All right. This is the make it or break it. Are you ready? Michael, you have 3? No, that doesn't count. Michael, you're really just pushing it. Really pushing it. It doesn't count. If I didn't see the answer. Sorry, Michael. Okay. I'm going to give you another one. Is this Caribbean island was actually named by Christopher Columbus. So it was actually named when this by Christopher Columbus. So in 1492, when the Spaniards were making their way all over the place, the Europeans exploring all over the place. This might be a hard one unless you've listened to the podcast, so this might be tough. But if you know Spanish, you might be able to get it. It is the Spanish word. So again, it's an island in the Caribbean, and it's a word that means, in Spanish, turtle. So if you can get the name of this island, and if y'all don't get it, that's okay. I'll give you another one. Let me know if you know that one. So it's a Caribbean island that was actually named by Columbus in 1492. And it means turtle. Well done, Marie-Eve. Tortuga. Well done. And Adrian got it as well. Excellent. Excellent. And Kath got it as well. You guys rock. And Kath got it. I just said. So I think some of you got 3, and Adrian, that would make 4. Is it in the Pirates of the Caribbean? I did not know that. I wondered why so many of you knew that. I was just really impressed with you, which is, it still holds. I'm still impressed with you, but I did not know it was in Pirates of the Caribbean. That's hilarious. Tortuga. You know, the first time I took Spanish in school all the way up through grad school, but I did not remember the name of turtle. The most recent association with Tortuga in my head is from Breaking Bad. Do you guys know the show, and did you watch it, and do you remember the character? He was called Tortuga. He was a drug dealer down in Mexico. And it was the most awful scene that sends Hank into just like total PTSD because of what he witnesses. Do you remember the scene I'm talking about? I don't want to give it away, but that's my like most recent association with Tortuga, meaning turtle. Do you guys remember that? Hablo poquito español. Well done, Kath. Well, you rock, and Adrian, you rock. Adrian, tell me you're in the U.S. I hope you're in the U.S. because I want to send you a copy of this book if you're interested. If you're interested in this book, I will send you a copy of it. Again, it's The Humane Gardener. It's called Nurturing a Backyard Habitat for Wildlife. And it's a beautiful hardcover edition. And I will send you a copy. Oh, Marie-Eve says I can't watch that show. I know, it's a pretty tough show. It's kind of one of my favorites. I watched it twice. Love it. Love Breaking Bad. Lots of disturbing scenes, says Erin. Yeah, there were quite a few. Do you know which one I'm talking about, though? Do you know which scene I'm talking about that's related to a turtle and a drug dealer in Mexico? I don't want to say any more than that. And his name was Tortuga. And so that's why there's a really disturbing scene regarding a turtle. Turtle wasn't hurt, so don't worry about that. Awesome, Adrian. Well, if you could write to support@joyfulvegan.com and send me your mailing address, I will send you a copy. And do me a favor also, would you please go follow Nancy Lawson? It's actually Humane Gardener. Follow her on Twitter and follow her on Facebook and let her know that you want a copy if you're on either one of those platforms. Well, obviously you're on Facebook, but if you're on Twitter, and everybody else should do the same thing. So it's just @Humane Gardener on Twitter, and it's @Humane Gardener or /Humane Gardener on Facebook. Follow Nancy. This book has really changed so much of how, as I said, how I'm even operating in my own little patch of the world here. I've planted a lot of different plants, not as much, I mean, like not a ton, but enough that I've been chastising myself. If you heard the interview with Nancy, I've felt guilty that I really wasn't focusing on natives, and I really, really see the merit of them. And I had heard for years, like, yeah, natives, whatever. I see the merit of natives more than ever before. But this book isn't just about gardening. It's really about coexisting with wildlife. She has a lot of really wonderful practical advice in the book, and I just think it's a beautifully written book that I think will change your mind about some things as well. There's always so much to learn. So good, thanks, Erin. Thanks. And actually, so Erin, she was on the latest episode of Food for Thought, and can I read you this wonderful email she sent to me today? we were back and forth. I had a question for her about something. And she said, I've received so many compliments about the podcast and about what a great and astute interviewer you are. My sister, who used to be veg and stopped after she had kids in the early 2000s, is going back to when you first started and listening to every podcast and is back to changing her diet again. So thank you for that too. That's so cool. Like that was a total, because we didn't talk about veganism per se, but Nancy's sister was obviously moved by the interview and is going back to eating veg, which is pretty awesome. So I love that. So yeah, exactly, Erin. So that's the idea, is that, you know, I mean, I've always been planting with a mind toward wildlife, but I was thinking wildlife so generically that I wasn't think of wildlife in my own backyard, literally in my own town, my own city, my own region, that have co-evolved with plants. And so obviously it makes sense to create an ecosystem basically that is filled with plants that would serve the wildlife that's here in my own backyard. So that's really the idea, and I think it's a brilliant book, and I hope you like it as well. So everybody should get a copy, but Adrian's going to get a copy sent to her. So thanks for that, everybody. So yeah, so Adrian, just send me your mailing address. And is there anything else, you guys? Any other questions you have for me before I head out? I'm actually going to go get dinner ready. I've got to finish doing some dishes that I made this afternoon. I've already got some homemade sausages made, and I've got a ton of broccolini from the farmer's market that I'm just going to saute. And I'm so hungry. So my husband better be home soon. Let me find out when he's coming home. Because I'm starving. You got 4, Michael? Wait, God, really? Did you? Oh, Michael. Michael. Okay, I told y'all got it. Just, okay, we'll have another giveaway, okay? Are you counting the Oxford, or I'm starting to doubt you, Michael. I have to say, gotta go. Can't hear you anymore. Okay. All right, I will give it to Adrian and we'll do more. I'm actually going to do another giveaway on Rafflecopter. So that's going to be online. So you can do that, that one as well. No, I'm not ye of little faith. I just, I am doubting you because of your little antics, Michael. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. You're so sweet, Kirsten. Thank you. I know, Kath, I know. That's why I'm a little suspicious. And today, Lena said that she received my copy of the 30-Day Vegan Challenge. That's awesome. By the way, and I'll announce this on another day, but the 30-Day Vegan Challenge is no longer on Amazon. You can still buy copies from me directly. I need to put that button up because I still have some copies I can get rid of. But between now and September, they're not up on Amazon until the new edition comes out, which is in September. So you can pre-order copies on Amazon through Amazon, but I'm going to still sell a few copies on my own a little bit because I want to just make sure that we start getting pre-orders for the new edition. But I'll talk more about that another day. You were awesome for playing, guys. I think the big lesson is that you have to go listen to the new episode of Animology. That's obviously the biggest lesson. But isn't that fascinating? These are all countries and cities named after animals. I think it's amazing. Oh, thanks, Lena. Thank you so much. Yeah, like you probably got one of the last copies because I just pulled the inventory from Amazon so that we can give the new edition a chance to get copies. So, sending you all love. Thank you so much for the animals. This is Colleen Patrick-Goudreau. Thanks for watching and playing.